Do you constantly suffer from pain? Pain in the arms, the neck, the back, and probably even your legs? Tonight on Mommy Wellness, we will talk about pain and what to do about it. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Mommy Guide Inc. For those who are new to my channel, I am Mommy Lala. I hope that all of you are well, and probably for most of you are already preparing to turn in for the day. Okay, but I thank you for joining us still before you go to sleep. Or for those joining us on the other side of the world, good morning. We would like to engage with you all, and so please feel free to type in your questions or comments on Mommy Guides Inc. Facebook page or Mommy Guide Inc.'s YouTube channel or my personal page. Just don't forget to be respectful at all times and put a Q on a question before each question so we can easily see it. And to help us learn more about this topic for tonight, we have with us ELLIE Calhoun, LMT, CMP, and KTRST. What those acronyms mean, we will ask Ellie later. ELLIE Calhoun is the founder and owner of My Body Works. Many years ago, Ellie became a Montessori teacher for preschoolers where the connection between activity with the hands and the brain was an integral part of learning. In 2008, she became a licensed massage therapist and she learned the rotisserie system of pain relief where Ellie quickly realized how important movement is both in therapeutic work and generally in our life for good health. Rossiter led Ellie next to an interest again in movement and walking in particular, which led her to the study of core movement integration or CMI with Joseph Delagrotte. When Ellie works with individuals, she looks to get rid of the pain using the Rossiter system first, then helps her clients understand and practice the movement pathways of CMI and breathing, which helps reduce the incidence of more injury. The excitement Ellie feels about all she has learned has turned into a need to share it, to help others become more aware of their own bodies and the ways in which they can help themselves stay well. Ellie strongly believes that if people could get out of pain, move better, and breathe better, the world will be a kinder and nicer place. And so without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's all welcome, first time on Mommy Guide Inc., Miss ELLIE Calhoun. Hi, Ellie.
Hi, Lala.
Good morning to you. So how's it been
Yes,
so
and
far?
good evening to you.
Yes, we're on opposite sides of the world. It's good morning to Ellie, 9 a.m., and it's good evening to us here in the Philippines and some parts of Asia. All right, Ellie. First and foremost, thank you for coming in today. All right.
Thank you. I really appreciate this. It's so exciting.
I too have been very excited. So, Ellie, let's start. All right. So, first and foremost, Ellie, how did you get interested in pain and pain management?
Well, honestly, I think in the beginning it was more I was interested in movement. As a child and in high school and college, I was very physical. I
Mm-hmm.
was an athlete,
Oh, wow.
and the act of running and sprinting and jumping and playing field hockey, and it just made me feel really good and powerful and strong. And then after that, pain started to creep in. And
Oh, because
so
athletes, right? Athletes normally are very prone to, accidents or pain, right?
oh, definitely, definitely. I think, sometimes too, if you have an injury back in the day, it catches up with you later because your body compensates, and
Mm.
that compensation pattern carries forward for years and years and years until finally it's like, I'm not doing that anymore. And it starts talking to you.
Oh my. All right. So that starts talking to us. That's what we're going to be talking more about later on. But for now, Ellie, I just want to go through the comments. All right. Marcus is here. He says, "Hi, Lala." All right. Hi, Marcus. All right. And of course, hi, Ellie. Okay, tech troublemaker, Roy. Good evening, good morning to you, Roy. And our dear moderator, B. Luna. Good evening, Mommy Lala and Ellie. Good evening, Miss B. Hey, Lala. Hey, Ellie. Congratulations. Thank you so much, Marcus. Yes, good evening from Superflus. Good evening, Mommy Lala and Ellie from B. Everybody saying good morning, Ellie. And good evening. Good morning, everyone. And welcome, Ellie. All right, that's Robert from Spoke Audio. Okay, and hello, Miss B. All right. So everybody's saying hello to us, Ellie. All right.
Hello back.
Hello back to everyone. Okay. Miss Tina One Kenobi. Oh, here we are. I was in Twilight Zone in the other window. All right, Sis Tina. Thank you so much for dropping by. Those are a lot of acronyms. Indeed, Marcus. Thanks for reminding me. I have to ask Ellie about all those acronyms. All right. So there, hi there, Tina One and Hiya B and Hiya Ellie. Everybody is really saying hi to everyone. Sarah, good morning, my friends. Yes, Sarah Steele is a dear friend of Ellie and I. All right. Hello, Sarah. Everybody saying hi to Sarah. And my dear friend Danny Ong from Canada. Hello there, Danny. And Giga Art Gigi. Hello, Mommy Lala and Ellie from Australia. Thank you, guys. Different time zones, different parts of the world. Jumping on board to hear what Ellie has to talk about tonight. All right. So going back, Ellie, first, what are those acronyms that I actually mentioned on the intro, right? Those are attached to your names because you've earned them, right? So
Yeah.
what do they mean?
Okay, so LMT is licensed massage therapist.
All right.
Then I believe CMIP is core movement integration practitioner.
All right.
NKT is neurokinetic therapist or therapy practitioner.
Mm-hmm.
And then what's the last one? Oh,
I see.
Rossiter.
Yes.
Rossiter stretching is I'm an advanced practitioner and an instructor for Rossiter.
All right. Thank you so much, Ellie. So now you understand what those, acronyms after Ellie's name mean. So those have been gained through both learning and experience. All right. So that's why we are so blessed to have Ellie go through some of the learnings that she already knows for us. So Ellie, going back, what causes pain? So you said that pain that we have probably gathered or probably or injuries that we might have developed when we were younger can manifest themselves when we're a little bit older. All right. So, but pain in general, what causes it?
So, pain, first, just knowing what pain is.
Mm-hmm.
It's communication. It's your body's, your brain's way of saying, stop, don't do that. It's a warning signal. So, for instance, if you burn yourself, you put your hand on a hot pan or hot plate,
Mm-hmm.
you will feel pain, and it's instantaneous in that sense.
Ah,
You raise your
yes,
hand off it, right? Because of that
exactly.
pain. And then if you actually did burn, you get some tissue damage. So pain in that sense is more of an acute pain. So it's happened right away. So if you sprained your ankle, you know why you have pain
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
because you sprained your ankle, and that's acute. But if you're having pain in your hip 2 years after you sprained your ankle, that means it's becoming a chronic pain, and that's often
Oh,
the one that we worry about the most.
all right. So the
So
chronic ones.
yeah, now why we have pain is it's a protective maneuver. It's our brain's way of protecting us. So we have nerve endings all over, and those nerve endings are um, communicating sensation. So that same nerve endings that might tell you that something's cold or something's hot or you get a thorn, that's just a communication that there's something going on and that you need to fix it, or you should look to see if you can fix it. When pain becomes chronic is when it becomes an issue that people struggle to figure out how to take care of it.
Exactly. So when it becomes chronic, Ellie, so that's the time that it really bothers our work-life pattern, right? Because
Exactly.
it hampers us from the usual things or the way we do things, right? So
Right.
how can we manage pain then, Ellie? Ellie, and can all
So,
pains be managed?
well, you know, there are people who have pain that is so debilitating, and they and their healthcare team have
Mm-hmm.
not figured out the why and the how. So there's still a lot that is being learned and researched around the science of pain. It's
Mm-hmm.
not everything is known yet. So maybe there are some pains that do just have to be managed. But when and managed, I mean medication and that
Mm-hmm.
sort of thing, um, or even surgical interventions. Sometimes are extremely helpful for pain issues. So, for instance, if somebody's um, got hip pain or knee pain and it interferes in their ability to walk, by the time pain gets there, that's kind of like I have a mentor, and she says pain's the last one to come to the party.
Oh
And what
my.
that means is that your body has been giving you signals all along that something isn't quite right, and we haven't picked up on it, and we haven't made a change in our life
All right.
to address that. And so finally, your body's going, it starts to scream, and that's the pain. Says, hey, you really have to take care of this. And sometimes it's at such an advanced state that surgical intervention is the only way.
All right.
But before you get there, that's what I work with. I work with people who are attempting to prevent surgical intervention, attempting to manage their pain without medication. So when it comes to that, the first thing to recognize is that there's a cycle.
Or
There's a pain cycle. So we have pain, and it sticks around. We start to worry. We start to we stop moving. So if you
uh-huh.
have a shoulder pain, right?
Yes,
You
because
bring it in.
you want to protect it by not moving it, right? Because
That's
when
right.
the
That's
movement
right.
comes, it's painful, right?
It can be,
Mm-hmm.
yes. And so when you're in that cycle, you've got pain, anxiety, fear,
Mm-hmm.
something's wrong, what's wrong, what's going on, why is it like this? And then you contract in, and when you contract in, then there's no space in your body for um, nutrients and for oxygen, and for we're all closed in and stuck, right? And that creates more pain,
Oh.
and then we have more anxiety. And so that cycle kind of needs to get broken somewhere. And I like to work with people in terms of physically opening up. So open that shoulder up,
Oh, I need
nice
you
and
in my
strong
life, Ellie.
and
I
gentle.
so need you in my life. I have frozen shoulder for how many years already? I want to
Yeah, so
open up that so shoulder, truly.
the first step for me with most of my clients is to help them reset their nervous system, get them to a place where they can relax,
Mm-hmm.
get them to a place where they can recognize that the pain that they might be having might not be danger pain. And once you start to let go of the fear around it, then you can relax. And so that takes into, that brings me to breathing practices, which is sort of meditative. And
Mm-hmm.
then core movement integration is a very mindful movement work that starts with the core. And so our core is our breathing, is our this whole section
Yeah.
around.
And that's so weak
That's a
for me.
core.
My core is very
Pardon me?
weak. My core area is very weak. I think that's also one of the reasons why I have a lot of pain issues.
And yeah, because what if you have pain in your extremity,
Mm-hmm.
oftentimes it's because it's not supported by your core. If your core is inhibited, then there are muscles that connect that
Mm-hmm.
intrinsic core to the extremity, right? And
Right.
if those muscles are disconnected in your brain, then you're going to start using your extremity muscles to do the big heavy movement when heavy movement should be done with your core.
All right, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Ellie, for that, for the initial info about pain. All right, so let's read some of the comments. They're building up, so I have to. Let's go read some of them. So, Spoke Audio. Robert says, "Have you ever worked with someone who has ALS?" I think Robert has
I'm sorry, I
ALS.
didn't.
ALS.
ALS. I
Yes,
actually have not directly
directly.
worked
All
with
right.
anyone with ALS. And a lot of what I do um, can help with the side effects of pain that come with the disease. But I'm not a doctor. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not, I don't treat a disease,
Yes.
but I can. So, for instance, with Rossiter stretching,
Mm-hmm.
it creates space in the body so that things can move better, and it creates space not just in the joints but also in the tissue in your
Mm-hmm.
body, so things move better, and there's a relief that happens with that. And so it can be helpful to manage the pain that is caused by any disease
All right.
condition.
That's a nice thing to know, Ellie, right? So that of course there are many diseases that even doctors cannot even, really totally heal, right? Okay, they can only manage symptoms, right? Even the medications, but at least there's another option, and that is what Ellie is here for us for tonight. All right, so let's read some of the comments again, Ellie. B says pain protective maneuvers. Yes, probably that's what Ellie also can help us with. So Tina says I'll be listening in while I do quilling. Oh, cool. All right, multitasking, Tina. All right. So recently I had to make kimchi for a college project, and I started to feel a burning feeling in my pinky when some of the spices made contact with it. All right. Okay, Sam. All right. And blind guy, his wife, their life. Hi, Lakita Marie and Corey. Good day, good people. Thanks for this talk. Great information. Thank you so much for joining us. Norman's Diary. Hi, Sir Norman. Good evening as well. Good evening, Norman, also from B. And B also saying hi to Lakita Marie and Corey. Danny, as I said, is from Canada. Ellie, he's a
Mhm.
pharmacist, just like me. He was my classmate in university. I'm an industrial pharmacist by profession. So the practice here in North America is to pop a pill for any kind of illness. Aw, at least this one we're gonna try to not you. Of course, if you really need to take medicine, then you should, right? Okay. Hey, Lala. Hey, Ellie, I'm watching from class. Austin, don't watch when you're in class. All right? You can watch this on replay, Austin. Okay, but I was in Austin's podcast over the weekend. It was so much fun. Although I didn't understand much of the games, but somehow I reminisced about being young, doing video games. So thanks for watching, Austin, but stop. You need to focus on your class. All right. And Miss Marie says, good evening, Ellie and Miss Lala. Sorry I'm late. It's okay, Miss Marie. We just started. And then everybody saying hi again to everybody, Blind Guy and Austin. And Craft Stuff says, my mom got a frozen shoulder. I think it's very, it's very common for people growing a little bit older to get frozen shoulder. She was in therapy for 2 weeks. I was in therapy, sis, for 1.5 years for frozen shoulder. So, hello everyone again, says Ayin. Miss B, our moderator, says core movement integration I think it's not pathway, it's practitioner in terms of Ellie's, right? It's practitioner. All right. I didn't get RST, Miss B said. Sammy Superstar, ha ha ha, focus on your class. Ayin, it's not Sammy, it's Austin. Although they are friends. Yes. Over the top WME. Hello, gorgeous. Hello, back to you. I do believe in using the TENS machine. What do you think about that? Have you tried using a TENS machine, Ellie? I actually went through a TENS machine as well.
Yeah, I don't use one in my practice, but I have had that work done when I saw a PT for some shoulder neck issues,
So
and
there's
they
an
use.
alternative for this, with exercise and certain movements, Ellie? Is it possible?
Pardon me,
Is
I
there
didn't
an
hear the beginning.
is there an alternative for, instead of using the TENS machine, rather techniques and movements that can mimic, or it's really something that has to be done if it needs to be done?
No, my understanding of the tens is that it's like stimulation,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not sure that there's anything physical that I would do with my hands that is similar to that.
Okay.
I don't really know. I haven't.
All right, so there you go. So probably it's beyond the scope of the topic for tonight. But then
It's
again,
usually used
yes,
by
like I had to
physical
go.
therapy.
Yes, I actually used this before when I had to go through physical therapy, and this is one of the things that they needed to do for me. Okay, on top of the other different things. Hello, Ian Craft Sauce by IND. I also use stands from time to time, says Tina. I'm in study hall. I have a break. Okay, if it's break, Austin, okay. Thanks for watching. Okay, Giga Art says, listening intently while having shoulder and back pain. Oh no. Gigi, I hope it doesn't, worsen. And Inspirational Connection TV, Samantha, good morning, everyone. Hi, Corey Marie. Hi, Miss B and Crafty Friends. Everybody saying hi to everybody. Animal Paradise Communication and Healing. Thank you so much. This is probably, I think, your first time here in my channel. Thanks for dropping by. Hi, Ellie. Hi, Lala and Ellie. So happy to see you together. It's such a great topic. Thank you. All right. There. Miss B now says, core movement integration practitioner. Yes, thank you. Hi, international streamer friends and everyone who is watching from Miss Marie. Okay, Austin says, I just blame all my pain on stress. Can we do that, Ellie?
Yes,
Yeah, okay, Austin. Ellie says
because
yes. All right.
when we're stressed, our body contracts in, right?
Uh-huh.
And we crunch in. So that is a sort of a reflexive maneuver when we're feeling threat. And stress is and can be a threat. So what happens when you're stressed is that it actually changes the chemicals in your body. You have, depending on the type of stress, you'll have adrenaline coursing in, because stress is important. We need stress. We especially needed stress when we lived in the wild and we would have, a tiger chasing you or something like that. Stress is what gives us the ability to run away or to freeze, or so you've probably heard of fight or
And
flight,
flight.
right?
Yes.
So what happens is all the systems in our body change so that you can either fight or you can run.
Run.
And so that's important when you're being chased or when something really dangerous is happening. However, our life now isn't like that. Our life now, our stress are things that we perceive as danger, and our body will go into that like fight or flight
Yes,
mode.
it's like deadlines, right?
Yeah, but
Yes, things
yeah,
like that.
exactly. But those things aren't truly dangerous. And the thing about, so I tell this story to people. When you think about a zebra and maybe a lion is chasing the zebra, right? So the zebra its adrenaline is coursing through its body so that it can run fast. It stops digesting. It stops all the unnecessary, for survival, actions in their body so that they can run. As everything is put into their running away. But as soon as the threat is gone, that lion's gone, the zebra goes right back to just chill, eating its grass, doing its thing. And with humans, because of the way our brain works, we don't go back to chill. And then we overtax our systems. And we're in that state of, that's a sympathetic nervous system, in that state of like constant vigilance, constant guarding, constant ready to fight or flight or flee. And
Or
so the trick is to learn how to breathe. So
breathe.
when you're feeling stressed, inhale through your nose and then exhale nice and slow for as long as you can. Exhale all the air out. Then you'll be able to take another deep breath more easily.
Wow. That's
And that will settle your nervous system down.
wow, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Ellie, for that. So just breathe in through your nose
Mm-hmm.
and then slowly release through your mouth
Yeah.
as long as you can.
A nice, long, slow, because that's a signal to your brain that you're not in danger.
Oh, so that's why. So it's like distressing, so to speak, from
Yeah,
stressful situation to distressful. All
right.
right. So don't worry, guys. It's just a start. Okay. Samantha says hi to Giga Art again. It's people saying hi to everybody. Okay. Can we weekly? Okay. This is a question again, guys. Can you put a Q if it's a question so I can easily, separate all the questions and I can easily ask Ellie. All right. So Miss B is asking, can weekly massage help in minimizing pain? Like especially here
It
in the Philippines, we like when we get stressed or a full week of work and weekends we want to go for a massage. Is that okay? A weekly one?
Yeah, oh, certainly, certainly. Massage can do wonders for people. Massage helps us reset our nervous system. So it's really good for stress, for learning how to de-stress, because when you get a massage, you relax, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most people.
Yes, yes.
So massage that's regular can help you
Janet.
learn to tap in to that ability to relax and de-stress and breathe. And boy, does it feel good.
Exactly. But I wish, I could do it because of the pandemic. We haven't been able to actually even get, a massage that
Right,
we usually normally get during the weekends or if you suddenly have a very stressful midweek or whatever. Now we
right,
cannot. But hopefully,
right.
don't worry because maybe we can learn something from Ellie later. All right. So Ellie Austin says, I have back pain and my mom just blames it on me laying in bed, but I don't lay in bed very much. But actually, Austin, as Ellie said, you being in 3 AP classes that causes you stress is actually something that can cause you pain, right, Ellie? It's not just,
Yeah,
probably lying in
it,
bed.
it's not. Yeah, it's partly the stress, but it also can be how your setup is for whatever it is you are doing for long periods of time. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're sitting at the computer, right? And if your keyboard's up here, or if your keyboard's down too low, or if
Mm-hmm.
you have to put your head like this to look at the monitor,
Mm-hmm.
or if you have multiple monitors and you're swinging your head back and forth,
It's just like me now.
right, those are the sorts of things that can cause what they call that is repetitive motion injuries. So, for instance, if you're using a mouse all the
Mm-hmm.
time and you're doing this, you can set up tension. You have tension in your
Mm-hmm.
forearm all the way up. That can go all the way up and into your neck. And next thing you know, you're doing this, and that's a repetitive movement.
Yes.
So, keeping yourself fluid and able to move and breathing while you're working, making sure that you can see your monitor so you're not doing this and jutting your chin out. It also depends on where your pain is. Most people, when they say back pain, they're talking lower back.
Oh,
Um, if it's upper back and shoulder,
neck
you know,
pain.
check what you're doing when you're stressed, when you're working on your computer. Check on
Mhm.
what your posture is. Have somebody take a picture of you
Oh, that's nice.
and see what do you look like when you're working.
All right. Are you slouched going forwards or
Are you
back?
slow? Yeah.
Yes.
And when you're sitting, I let me see if I can move back just a little bit. If you're sitting, if you're sitting like this,
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah, that's
you're
me.
going to have back pain. If you're sitting like this, you're resting, right? And so your abs aren't engaged. So sit up. You know the old adage, sit up straight?
Yes. So that's the
It
reason
kind
for
of
that.
is true. We need to engage this part of our body so that we can sit up more straight, because our body, our spine can hold our body up better if it's aligned. Okay, so
Oh.
aligned, I mean your ear is over your shoulder, is over your hip, and if you're standing, it would be over your knee and then your ankle.
Oh, okay.
So if you're this far, you're gonna stress this out. It's long and stretched. Or if you sit like this,
Oh,
that's another way that people get if they arch their back too much. You need a
ah,
little bit of a curve
but
in
not
your
too
low back,
much.
but not a huge curve.
All right, all right. So not too much. Okay. Thank you so much, Ellie. Let's continue on with the comments. Okay. Animal Paradise Communication in Healing is actually Janet. Janet Dubs. Yes, sorry, Janet. I didn't recognize your YouTube channel's name. All right, so it's Janet. Hi, thanks for dropping by, Janet. Hopefully, Janet can be also on the show soon. All right. And Danny, okay, my dear friend says, Mommy Lala, you missed the first part of my comment. I was complimenting what Ellie is doing. Oh, so sorry, Danny. There. Okay, Danny is complimenting you, Ellie, for what you're doing. Hello. Miss B saying hi to Janet. And Inspirational Connection TV saying hi to, sorry, Gigi is saying hi to Samantha. Fight or flight. Yes, Tina, that was what Ellie was saying about, what happens when we're always stressed. So that fight or flight hormones or adrenaline kicks in, right? And adrenaline, constant adrenaline or too much adrenaline in our body is not good, right? So,
Adrenaline, and it also has, there are other chemicals as well, like cortisol.
cortisol
Um,
and other
yeah,
stuff. All right, that's not good. It's good for to just as Ellie said and mentioned that it's really for survival. So it kicks in for you to survive. But if it's for used for long periods of time, then it's gonna be harmful rather than helpful. All right, and then Rokshan Chow. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it. It's French, so I'm sorry. But hello, Lala, Ellie, Ray, and everyone. Okay, Janet says, I have PT for my rotator cuff surgery, but have nerve damage from the surgery. Do you have suggestions to help support? Or is that off topic? Is there a
no,
way?
no, it's not off topic. So it depends on what the nerve damage is from. If the nerve damage is actually damage that happened during surgery,
Yeah, I think
there
so.
are maybe medical ways of fixing that. But if sometimes after we've had any kind of trauma, and
Mm-hmm.
surgery is a trauma,
Mm-mm.
and it's actually a pretty big trauma to our bodies. And when you've had trauma, your brain wants to protect, and so and also your doctor will say, don't move that shoulder for a
Mm-hmm.
while, right?
Mm-hmm.
So all the muscles in your shoulder and in your arm, they either become overactive but also underactive. So then when you go and you have PT, they want to try to strengthen those muscles that have become inhibited or underactive, or maybe even atrophied. You've ever seen someone who has a cast on their arm, and when they take the cast off, there's a huge difference between the muscles in their arms
Oh yeah,
because it's atrophied from not being
being
used.
used.
And so
Yes.
then you want to build those muscles back up.
All
So
right.
sometimes a muscle can be so short and tight, or even long and tight, and it can impinge on a nerve. So if it's a muscle that's impinging on a nerve, you can find out more about that and whether that muscle is contracted and needs to be relaxed,
Mm-hmm.
or if that muscle is long and tight like a rope and needs to get a little slack, and then it won't impinge on that nerve so much. So I don't know if that helps.
Yes. So I think basically what Ellie is trying to say and to tell us, Janet, is it could be a combination. I think, right? So there's a medical side of it, okay, and then if um, maybe Ellie's gonna show us later can help, or probably you need to go get somebody like Ellie, who is also licensed to help you out with physical therapy beyond the physical therapy, like a massage or something like that, right, Ellie?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. This is where neurokinetic therapy can really help,
Mm-hmm.
because what we do with neurokinetic therapy is we do muscle testing, and the
Yes.
muscle testing tells us, if we follow the protocol, it can tell us when two muscles or ligaments are um, working against each other instead of with each other. And so, for instance, when there's trauma, one muscle might overtake and really work hard, and then the other muscle is not, your brain doesn't recognize. So when we do muscle testing with neurokinetic therapy, we can find out a pair of muscles. Then we can release the muscle that's overworking and then activate the underworking muscle. Then the overworked muscle says, oh, that muscle's doing its job. Now I can relax. So it's sort of what we're doing is we're retraining the brain.
Mm-hmm.
And
So,
that's the piece.
all right, but Ellie, to do that,
Hmm.
we can't do that on our own, right?
No,
No, we can't like, oh,
no.
this muscle is tight. No, we need a help of somebody like Ellie, who is licensed or knows how to do or identify these kinds of things. But at least Ellie will try to help us with some techniques later on about how we can relieve certain pains. All right, so Ellie, I'm gonna go back to the comments for a while. Tina says, I like deep breathing, it relaxes me and then I fall asleep. All right, as long as you're not at work. All right, and Austin says, okay, next class starting. Have a good night, Lala. All right, Austin, be safe. Okay, listen to your teachers, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for dropping by, Austin. When you're feeling stressed, just breathe in through your nose and breathe out slowly. Yes, Miss B, thank you so much for reiterating Ellie's advice. Tina says, I wish I can do that weekly massage. Exactly. And Miss B says, massage helps us reset our nervous system. Okay. I wonder why some people smoke to relieve stress.
That's an excellent question. I
Would you
actually
know?
just was recently learning a little bit about that. So if you could just excuse me for 1 minute, Lala, my phone,
Oh,
which
it's
I'm
ringing.
using as a
Oh,
camera,
it's gonna low
is,
bat. Oh,
I need to connect it to
okay,
to
okay. So I'll
to
go for myself. Okay. It's okay. Go ahead, Janet. Or I mean Janet. Go ahead, Ellie. Because Ellie and Janet were friends and we come from a certain group. So anyway, so while Ellie is trying to connect her phone to a charger so we don't lose her. Okay, I'm just gonna continue to work on the comments. All right. P says, check your posture when you're working. Let someone take your picture. Thank you, Miss B, for the reminder. Homie, that's me. Yes, anak. You're like me, your mom. My back literally looks like this, see, and you're still young, so you still have a way to check that, Sam. So when sitting, don't arch your back too much. So not like that, but the usual, there should be a little bit of an arch, Ellie said, but not too much. My lordosis is basically the one causing my back pain. How do I correct this to minimize the chronic pain? Will my spine or leg be affected and pain worsen as time progresses? All right, Tina, we're going to ask that again when Ellie comes back. Oh, I think Ellie is back. So let's go back to Ellie. Ellie? All right, so Tina has this question. So she has
Yes.
lordosis. So I think this has to do with the spine, like how the spine looks
Mhm.
like. All right. So will her question is, how does she correct this to minimize chronic pain eventually, and will her spine or leg be affected and pain worsen as time progresses?
Okay, so here's the thing. If you decide, this is just the one thing that popped in my head. If you decide that it's going to affect you later, it will. But if you
Oh,
decide it's not going to affect you, this is a mindset thing.
all right.
Thinking about how you think about your body, you can, the more you worry about something, the more you start to feel it, right? And it can then become a problem. So that's just sort of an aside. So we all have curves in our spine, okay? There are three curves. There's lordosis here in the neck. There's lordosis in the low back, okay? And then there's kyphosis in the thoracic spine.
Mm-hmm.
Those are necessary curves. We don't want to take those curves out. Those curves help, what's the word? I can't think of it. So when you're walking and stuff, it gives you a spring so that you're not jamming your spine, okay? It gives you stability, actually. So it's when it becomes extreme, like hyperlordosis or hyperkyphosis, that it can become a problem, but not necessarily. So you can do, so some of the movement stuff that I do can help with that. Um, if you have an imbalance because of tightness in one muscle and lack of or inhibition in the other muscle, then that can be changed, and that can change. My advice is to remain connected to your core. Breathe well, move well from your core, and that will help make keep things from declining.
All
Does that
right.
help?
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much, Ellie. Okay, and going back to the questions. All right, I at a certain time I have to stop the questions for a while so that Ellie can actually show us some, and demonstrate some of the things that we can do when we do have this normal or the usual pains that most people do have. All right, so Sammy, hi Sammy. Sammy Superstar is in the house. Hi there, Sammy. Everybody saying hi to Sammy and B. And Rushang Shao said, "You're super intuitive, Mommy Lala. You said my name right." Oh, thank you so much. Let it flow. Don't doubt it. It was perfect. Thank you so much. And there you go. Everybody saying hi to everybody again. Samantha saying hi to Sammy. Hi, Mommy Lala and Miss Ellie. I have thoracic spondylosis at 52 and experiencing dull pain on the lower hips and numbness from hips to feet once in a while. Can an ordinary exercise help for something like this?
So I'm not sure what you mean by ordinary exercise, but regular practice of movement,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's you found somebody that you can connect with doing yoga, or if you found someone that can show you some movement to do on a daily basis, that can help you. It may not completely cure or correct exactly what's going on, because
Mm-hmm.
there are some things that we can't change if it's a structural sort of issue, or what we call a hardware issue.
Mm-hmm.
It's harder to change that, but you can learn to manage your body even while you might have this
Condition.
issue.
All right.
And you can learn to manage it so it um, doesn't progress or get worse in a fast way. Okay, we're all progressing as we age, right? So
Exactly.
there's a certain amount of aging that we're doing, and
Exactly.
it's whether you are it's what it determines how fast you're declining or not.
Mm-hmm.
My core movement integration instructor says the only constant is change. So if you are, so you, as a person, as a human, we're always changing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Never staying the same. So if you're not getting better, then what are you doing? You're
Exactly.
getting worse.
Declining. Yeah.
So for me, it's a daily practice of movement that helps me get better as I get older.
All right. So constant movement, not the movement like, the usual movement like this. No, intentional movement that's good for, as Ellie said, probably the core and opening up, whatever it is that needs to be open. In my case, all my arms are stiff. All right. So, Ellie, I'm just going to pop in some more questions. Hello, Don. Thumbs up. Miss Mary, thank you so much. Miss Rams again is saying, can ordinary exercise helps to remove pain and discomfort? So Miss Rams, as Ellie said a while ago, it depends what you mean, but she says that of course, daily movement, all right, is actually very useful and helpful for us, especially as we age. Hello there, Miss Rams. So it's everybody saying hi to everybody again, and hi, Miss B. Miss Rushang Shao says, I'm tempted to ask Ellie if she works with the mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies too.
So as a massage therapist, I have a scope of practice that
Mm-hmm.
I stay within.
Mm-hmm.
However, it's really hard to disconnect those things. I
Mm-hmm.
find that a lot of issues in our bodies are based on an emotional component in
Mm-hmm.
our lives. And it's really hard to peel those out. But I don't counsel people if
Okay. Yes. Baby.
I might say what I do that helps me,
All right.
and that in a sense is saying you could try this, but it's not my field, so to speak.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ellie, for that. And then, of course, Ash is here. Hello, Ash. And Robert saying hi to Ash. And okay, Rushang Shao is thanking B for all the reminders. And don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you so much. Hey, hey, Robert from Ash. Okay. And then everybody saying hi to Ash. Okay, yes. Yeah,
Hi.
everybody saying hi to everybody. Okay. There. And my daughter is actually saying, if you like what, I hope you're all enjoying the streams. If you'd like to support my mom, here's her Buy Me a Coffee account. There you go. First time that we have actually put that there. John Ryan's constantly asking me to do that. I keep forgetting. All right. And Ash wants to say hi to Rukshang. And thanks, Ellie. I will keep that in mind and put into practice. Ellie, were you looking for the word bounce? I think a while ago, right? We were talking about what's that about the spine, and then maybe that the word is probably bounce. So I think yes, Ellie mentioned something about that. And hi, Miss Rams. I plan to buy a massager, and I saw one called Hand Blip. Do those things work, Ellie? Have you heard about Hand Blip?
I haven't actually heard about that.
Me too.
There
First
are
time.
some, yeah, there is there I think it's important that people find what works for them.
Mm.
So if you find that it helps you and helps you in between, then I think that you can, that kind of thing is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
I would caution you to, um, there are some tools out there that can be very aggressive.
Oh.
And we can sometimes have a tendency, if we have an area of our body that is constantly in pain, to kind of wail on it and really try to break up tissue and try to relax that with a force. And that isn't always what's needed.
Mm.
So if you see a professional healthcare person that can then give you guidance on how to use the hand self massager, then that can be important. So, for instance, when I was talking earlier about um, muscles that are short and contracted
Mm-hmm.
and muscles that are long and tight, the tightness feeling is the same. But if your muscle is long and tight, then trying to relax it, it's already on its relaxed. It needs slack. It needs um, to learn to be stronger in a way. And so releasing it with a massager isn't going to help. It might feel good in a minute, but it's not going to feel good all the time. So I would combine self work with guidance from somebody.
All right. So there. That's a good advice, right? Especially because sometimes we want things, faster, cheaper, or, at the comforts of our home, but sometimes it's really not that, safe, so to speak, at the end of the day. It's probably not going to help us in the end. So Miss Marie is saying, thank you. Good to know. Thanks, Ellie. All right. And Miss B says, Ellie, does a steam bath or hot bath before a massage therapy help in pain relief?
I'm not sure it would help with pain relief necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
It can. I like a bath, so I take baths. It helps me feel more relaxed. So, in that sense, it can help me have less pain because when you're relaxed, things are open and
All
not
right.
tight.
Okay. So I've actually forgotten about my personal FB page. So some of our friends actually, Ellie, are there. So
Oh,
Andy Helper is
Andy.
saying, can you give us your thoughts on physical pains leading to emotional hurt? What's your
Um,
thought?
um,
Okay,
I can't.
can you give us your thoughts on physical pains leading to emotional hurt? Is there maybe
Um,
long time in physical pain, eventually what happens to, does it also lead to emotional hurt? I think that's what Andy.
Definitely, definitely. If you are in pain and you have so much pain that it interrupts in your daily life,
Mm-hmm.
for instance, you can't walk as well, you can't go on a hike with your friends, you
Mm-hmm.
can't, if you have to say no to the things that you want to do, that becomes emotional. And then it actually puts you back into that cycle, right? The
Mm-hmm.
pain, anxiety, emotion, and it will go around and around. So yeah, so that is one direction. I also find that if somebody has had an injury or if they have a repetitive movement injury and it occurred while they were at a high emotion, that might stick around longer. That pain might stick around longer
Mm-hmm.
if you don't recognize that there is an emotional component to that. So, for instance, I jammed my toe. I stubbed my toe. I have a big scar on one of my toes
Mm-hmm.
because I was angry about something and I went out of my room and I jammed it into a metal desk And so that scar, this happened, I'm loath to say, many, many, many years ago.
All right.
That scar still has some pain when I press on it, although I'm starting to work on it, so it's getting less. But because there was an emotional component that I think made it feel worse, or made that be something that my brain is connecting to all the time. And I did a live recently about emotional freedom technique, or tapping,
Mm-hmm.
which you can Google that. There's stuff on it all over the place. You can, and that was the thing that I worked on recently on that toe. And using that emotional freedom technique, it takes the power away from the emotion around the event. So then you can let it go. And then that pain doesn't need to necessarily be there anymore.
All right. Thank you so much, Ellie, for that. And Andy has a follow up. He said, Ellie, you sure know your stuff.
Oh,
Inspiring and impressive and helpful. Thank you so much, Andy. And he
thank you.
also said, aging is inevitable. The way you age isn't. I agree. Keep moving,
Right.
mind, body, and spirit. There you go, Andy. Okay, and David Ryan also is on my Facebook page, personal Facebook page. He says, I have 4 monitors for 2 systems. It's terrible for my neck, he said. I invested in a supportive chair and it made a big difference. So that's what Ellie has been saying. You gotta check how you work, how you do things. And if you feel that it's something that needs to be, changed, then you have to do so. Okay, so and then he says hi to everybody. And he says, thank you, Lala and Ellie. Yes, tapping emotional freedom has been very helpful for me. Always. Andy, is a constant source of inspiration also for us. Thank you so much, Andy. So I think we've managed to be updated on all the comments and questions, Ellie. So finally, you can do I've asked Ellie to actually show us some movements that we can actually do too when we have certain kinds of pain. Right, Ellie?
Yeah.
All right.
So I think, because this is a mommy channel, not
Yes.
everyone here is a mommy, but
Uh-huh.
um, moms have particular pain issues, and actually, so would dads, because
Mm-hmm.
it has to do with how you move and how you are with your child. And a lot of times, so I'm going to back up and I'm just going to show you some body movements that
All
end
right,
up
Ellie.
issues. So, all right. So when you hold a child, a lot of times you hold a child and you jut your hip out because it's like a shelf, right?
Uh-huh.
And that movement, that holding, and oftentimes the child's wiggly or crying, so you've got this emotional component to it. You might have to jiggle to try to get them to calm down. But this, if you notice, then is all contracted. And if you do that often enough on one side, you eventually get this sort of contracted part of your body. And then this part is long and elongated. And we're not completely symmetrical, okay? And we're not meant to be completely symmetrical. But you do want to have a sort of even out hips. You
Mm-hmm.
don't want to walk around like this.
Oh yeah, especially when we're
Some,
holding the child on the other side, right? We try to
right,
compensate. Yes.
right. So some people have scoliosis, which is an S curve in the spine.
Yes, I have
Very
that.
simplified, very simplified description of it, but it's sort of an S curve in this way,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And it creates, and it's the hardware, it's your spine, and it creates um, discrepancies. So some people may have that can't really get changed, but you can help it to feel better. So one of the things is if you do a lot of standing on one side, make sure that you sometimes do the other side, or standing with your feet under your shoulders, take your hips and go one way and allow the side that's contracted to open up.
I'm
And this is
actually
part
standing
of
up
core,
and trying to do what you're doing, Ellie.
yeah, and this is part of core movement integration, is we talk about pathways of lengthening, and you want to lengthen those sides that feel. Now I'm not stretching.
Oh.
Stretching is different. I'm lengthening, so I'm doing the moving, and it's continual movement because it's the moving that helps those tissues relax. Stretching can be okay, but if you stretch too fast, you can trigger your body's reflex to tighten back up again,
Oh.
because it perceived that fast stretch or too strong stretch as a threat. And so if you do that, then some other part, if I just reached over and really stretched, then this part might, instead of relaxing, it might grab on, because it's like, oh, you're going to fall over.
Oh.
I need to hold on to keep you from falling over. So with core movement, we work with the different planes of movement. So there's flexion and extension, right? And if I turn sideways, you can sort of see that better. So
Uh-huh.
flexion and extension. But it starts from your hips. It starts here. This is where your power is. This is
Okay.
where the core connection is. And so it's your hips going forward that allows you to lengthen here in the front. And then when your hips go backward, you're still lengthening and you're still going upward. You're not going down. You're
Oh.
lengthening here.
All
And
right.
that's a movement that can be done lying down, it can be done sitting, it can be done in standing. Whenever I'm in line waiting somewhere, I'm always sort of rocking back and forth. So front
Oh.
lengthening and back lengthening. The other plane of movement I showed you a little bit is when both hips go one way, you get lengthening on the other side, right? Like a side bend. And you want to connect the hip to here, and eventually that connection can come up all the way up into the neck. Then the third plane of movement is rotation. So we need rotation. It gives us power when we're walking, okay? And so rotation is when one hip goes back and it allows your other part of your body, without being really muscly,
Mm-hmm.
just to move. This hip goes forward because this one went back.
All
You can
right.
stay on this foot and have the hip go forward this way. And you
Okay.
can take these movements and make them really small. So if you are standing in line and you don't want to look like you're doing this,
All right.
you can make that movement just really small, because it's from here you want to feel it. I will say that the whole core movement work that I've been doing for almost 10 years now. And it takes practice. It takes time. You can't just do it once. You can't just intellectualize it. You have to
Mm-hmm.
actually do it. And this is where the struggle becomes real because we don't want to take the time to do it. But you only need to do 5 minutes or 15 minutes. Get on the floor, lie on your back, tap into what your body is trying to tell you, and explore movements in a very mindful, slow manner.
Wow, that's awesome.
So so that's the sort of basic on core stuff.
Okay.
However, there are other things that you can do if you have pain. And so the other thing that I was going to talk about is um, Lala also has does her crafty channel, right, Lala?
Yes.
So how many people have pain in their hands and their fingers from
Everyone,
doing?
all of us. That's why I have to do electronic machines now. I can no longer do cranking machines or heavy, because of, as you said, consistent, repetitive over many, many years have
Yes.
actually, I think, probably is the cause of all my hand pain and my shoulder and arm pain.
Yeah. So here's the thing. If you're doing a lot of work with your hands, make sure, same with the computer, that you're not doing this with your shoulder and you're
Oh,
not
no.
doing this. Set yourself up so that you can be relaxed and your hands are in your lap and
Mm-hmm.
they're open, your shoulders are open, and you're doing the work down here. If you need glasses or if you need one of those magnifying things, use those instead of bringing the work up to your face to work on.
Oh,
Um, so keeping your body open while you do the work. Now, if you have, so I talked a lot about core movement integration. I want to talk a little bit about Rossiter stretching because Rossiter stretching is specifically a pain relief method or treatment, or not even a treatment. It's a two-person workout where I actually step on a person and I direct them through a stretch. They're doing the work, not me. I'm just pinning, I'm just stepping.
mm-hmm.
And if you have a person that can do that, that's great. But if you don't, there are a couple of things that you can do yourself. So if you do have hand pain,
Yes.
sometimes that hand pain is coming from your forearms. Sometimes it's coming up here, sometimes it comes from your neck. We don't really know unless you do some testing. But if you have pain in your hands, this is something you can do to help create more space in your body. So lean your forearm on a surface that's not too hard, but not too
Mm-hmm.
soft,
All
like
right.
Goldilocks, right? So you want to have it be a cushion, but not that you sink in, okay?
Okay.
You want your shoulder to be aligned so that you're not hurting your shoulder while you do this. You take your other arm and you have a bone ridge right here. Take
Mm-hmm.
that bone, put it on the forearm that's on the
The
chair
chair. Oh,
or
chair.
the platform. Let's see which way. I move this way. There we go.
All right.
And if you can have your hand hanging off, that's even better. So lean in to a spot that feels really tender. Now, Rossiter, we look for intensity or what we call a hot spot or a gold spot, and it's painful. But
Mm-hmm.
it's a pain that you kind of feel that you need. It's not a danger pain. Excuse me. It's a pain that is like a good pain. You know how you
Uh-huh.
get a massage that has a good pain? It's kind of
Yes.
like, okay?
Okay.
And you're working through it. If you have pain there, then there's an issue there. All right? So you
Oh.
want to lean into that spot. And then you're going to move. And we call it stretching, but I like to call it reaching. You're going to reach your fingers out all the way,
All
and you're
right.
going to move every single finger. And if one finger feels painful, like my thumb here, I'm going to move it around a little bit more. Okay? You can bring your wrist all the way up. You can bring your hand all the way down. And that kind of feels good. And then you can move it around. You can make a fist. You can roll it, rock it side to side, reach out one more time, and then relax. And feel that, well, what I feel is sort of a flush, like a feeling of blood flow, right? And
Yes.
openness. My thumb still hurts. But if I did this more frequently, and there are other things you can do for hands, then it would help. I need to get a Rossiter workout myself
Uh-huh.
soon. But that, so you can do, and then you do the other side of your arm as well.
All right.
So the underside of your arm is here. You lean in
The
and you
same
bring that
thing.
hand back
All right. Up and down, open,
up and
close.
down. Yeah. And you
Very
can
good.
try a couple of different spots on your forearm. Find the spot that gives you the most sort of issue. Now with Rossiter stretching, we have workouts. There's over 300, I think, different things that we can do that help all the way from your foot
Oh,
up,
wow.
hips, shoulders, neck. I teach Rossiter. It's not very well known,
Mm-hmm.
but it's an amazing thing. When I have a client that comes in with pain, that's one of the first things I do. If
Oh,
their pain is based on many years of compensation patterns, I go into some of the other things that I do,
mhm.
especially, and I always do movement education as well.
All right. Ellie, talking about classes, do you do
Mm.
virtual classes for now that we are in pandemic
Um,
situations?
I haven't,
You have.
um, but I am working on creating a class,
All right.
or actually a number of classes. I in this next couple of months, I'm going to have some movement classes. I'm going to have um, some other some breathing classes because I think
Mm-hmm.
that is just so
All
important.
right. I hope you
It's
do. We will definitely be there, Ellie. We're going to look forward to that because you are in the
but
US and we're in the Philippines. So
right,
impossible for us to
right,
attend your
right.
face-to-face classes soon. But if you would have those classes, that would be awesome. So for if I think probably some of them are like, how can we get in touch with Ellie? How can we contact Ellie? We have more questions. This is it, guys. All right. So Ellie, okay, has her social media handles. So she's on Facebook as My Buddy Works. All right. So she does live, I think, several times a week. In the Philippines, it's gonna be around 12 midnight. But if you guys are night owls like me, I actually often still able to watch her live so that I can ask questions. But anyway,
And that
if
can change.
yeah,
That isn't in stone.
all right. So if ever, it's okay, Ellie, because we're in the
um,
Philippines, so we're on the
yeah,
other side of the world. So
yeah.
if so, just like her Facebook page, follow her, so that if ever there are changes, she does go live every now and then, and she teaches some of the more techniques and discusses about different kinds of pain and other stuff over there. So it's again My Buddy Works on Facebook. She is also on Instagram as Calhoun. All right. So also on YouTube, Ellie Calhoun. Okay, but she's most active on her Facebook group at this point. All right. So don't forget to also like and subscribe on her YouTube channel. And of course, she also has her webpage. It's www.mybodyworksnatic.com. So if you want to contact her, so on any of these platforms, you can do so. All right. So Ellie, would you like to anything else that you would probably want to leave to our viewers tonight before we leave?
So yeah, yes. You did ask about classes, but
Yes.
I also do one-on-one online with people.
Oh, that's cool.
And yeah, so that would be set up like any other appointment that I would have. So if that's something you're interested in,
How do they
then
do
I'll
that,
be
Ellie?
able to
Through
work
your
with you.
website or through Messenger? How
So
do they contact you?
So you can contact me through Messenger, or you can contact me through my website. There's a contact me page,
All right, that's
and
cool.
and we can discuss what your needs are, what would be most helpful for you, and figure out a time where we could work together. There are obviously limitations. I can't do hands-on with you,
Yes.
um, but I have been able to help some people with ongoing online work. So that I started up once with COVID. Um, with the pandemic, I had to close my business. So I was able to start to do some work with people online. So I've gotten used to it. It's kind of
Wow,
nice.
that's awesome. Awesome, Ellie. Actually, Suzanne Kaskowski, okay. Our dear friend is actually also on my personal FB and she's saying, Ellie has stepped on me. It was wonderful. All right. Good for you, Suzanne. I hope me too. Okay, good pain, she said. All right. Again, Ellie and everybody, in the comments. Thank you so much for being with me and Ellie tonight or this morning if you're on the other side of the world. And I would also like to thank Roy, Tech Troublemaker, for sending me pizza because my send me a coffee is not coffee because I don't drink coffee, so because I have GERD, so it sent me a pizza instead. So he sent me pizza. First time ever for me to actually receive a pizza. So I just have to go to this scene for a while, Ellie, because this is the scene where I have my confetti. Okay, where's my confetti? Hold on, confetti, come on, confetti. It doesn't want to turn on. Okay, there you go. Confetti! All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Roy. All right. So going back again to Ellie. Ellie, I would really, really like to thank you so much for coming in this morning and tonight for us to help us out with, the concept of we don't really need to always be in pain, that we can actually do some things to help alleviate. It may not be, the answer to a pain-free life as we want it to be, but it's a first step towards, gaining more control of, the pain that we probably might be having in our life. Again, everybody in the comments, Ellie is saying, thank you again. Ian says, I'm trying. Okay, hold on. I'm trying it right now and kind of relax my arms and hands. Thanks, Ellie, because Ellie is one of my dear crafty friends who joins me in my crafty show every Wednesdays and
Good.
Saturdays. So she said it's effective. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Lala and Ellie from Marcus and from Tina also. Ellie, thank you. Thank you, Ellie. Everybody is saying thank you so, so much, Ellie. Again, if you want more of Ellie and more, tips and techniques and how she can help us, okay, don't forget her social media handles are already on the description here on my YouTube channel and my Facebook page. Again, Ellie, last words for everybody.
Thank you all for being here and for watching. And Lala, thank you so much. I really appreciate this opportunity because I want to get the word out. I have mentors that teach me and they are brilliant and they teach practitioners.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to take what I learn and let more people know about it. And I really appreciate this opportunity. Thank you so much.
And me too, Ellie, for the trust, for coming in tonight. We had a lot of tech issues before, even minutes before, guys. But as Ellie said, it's not perfection that we ask for. Good enough is okay. And with that, we leave you all and would like to say thank you and have a wonderful week ahead, guys, and stay safe. Okay, and have a painful free week ahead. Bye, Ali. Bye, everyone. See you next time.